And I guess even some of you have been around for a while, have not been seeing it. Maybe you've seen it. It's always nice to see it again. Again and again. So, okay, let's see. Let's see this.
Whose lives, like mine, have been transformed by what has become known as the Hare Krishna movement. Although the movement is anything but new, it was unknown in the Western countries until his divine grace, Bhakti Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, came to the shores of America on a freighter at the advanced age of 70 years old. He carried the message of his spiritual master and of an entire disciplic succession of spiritual teachers. The remarkable feature of his presence was his inconceivable potency to plant the seed of devotion to Krishna in the hearts of so many thousands and now millions of people. By his mercy, the transcendental knowledge, familiar only to those initiated into the secret ambrosia of devotional service to Krishna, has become available to the entire world. We dedicate this program to him.
O my Lord, Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna, because he is the absolute truth, and the primordial cause of all causes, creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifest universes. It is he who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahma to the original being. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of three modes of nature appear factual. I therefore meditate upon him who is eternally existent, indefensible, forever free from the illusions from which they are formed.
Remember to make grace readings and smile nicely and chant loudly, okay? Festival of the chariots, the knowing really sweet, where the Lord of the universe is coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down.
Whenever one develops faith in me, one should worship me in that form. I certainly exist both within all created beings and also separately in my original form, since I am the supreme soul of all.
Krishna is actually very much present in this deity form. So I've experienced that over the years. I've been 18 years here in Juhu doing deity worship. My wife makes the preparations and setting up plates and waking the deities up. So actually, for me, it's like a lifestyle. I mean, that's my life and blood. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to stand here now. Because it's such a very austere, very high potency place. So by having a contact with the deities, a daily affair, every day I'm there at least 45 to an hour with the deities alone, so that I can actually say that, this is the substance of my life. So although it's a daily function, but every day is different. There's never been a day the same. So because of this, because the deity worship is so intimate relationship with Supreme Lord, I find my whole life has been completely revolutionized. I was an artist before I joined the movement and had some reputation back in the 60s. So I had a taste of what the world is. And I completely rejected it. I felt this was not the answer. Srila Prabhupada, he told me to stay here in Verdun and to work in the arts. We're doing that. I'm working in bronze and marble and painting. Having had the basis in training as an artist, painting, sculpture, and architecture, it's a natural evolution to use that service, for Krishna. And this time I'm doing a Mahabharata series for children, for devotee audience. It'll be basically this illustrated version, each page of illustrations and small text. And not a scholarly version, but something very simple for devotees and devotee children. Without the deity worship, without the substance of daily exchange with the Lord, it's not possible to carry on. 18 years solid without a break. I worked 365 days a year. And I never experienced any fatigue or monotony or routine. It's always in the breath.
It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, intelligence, and words.
Well, when I first came to Krishna Consciousness, I realized that there was something missing in my life, even though I had, grown up with virtually everything anyone could want. And, everyone in our family had everything they wanted more than they needed. And yet there seemed to be a lack of something, a lack of happiness, lack of direction, a lack of spirituality really is what it was. When I came to Krishna Consciousness and came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and started reading Prabhupada's books, I realized that actually that the purpose of having wealth and the purpose of having money and property and assets is actually to serve God. In the beginning, I was mostly helping Srila Prabhupada establish temples in Hawaii and in Detroit. And specifically, he asked me to help create these diorama exhibitions, and I tried to do that in various places in Detroit and working somewhat in India now. So there was a specific instruction they gave me as far as preaching activities, but basically it was just a general order to utilize your wealth to serve Krishna.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer and give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Australia's longest-serving Hare Krishna Commodasa has set about enlightening the world to Hare Krishna cooking. His television cookery program has been shown in 40 countries to an estimated audience of 200 million people. The wildly success has not distracted Govindas from what he sees as his true calling and his devotion of 25 years. Comparing lives at a reunion of high school classmates who remember him as full of Gordon.
It's nice to see that one of my fellow students also decided to express his feeling of God in a different way and yet still share it with other people.
The early years of the Hare Krishna movement met with a lot of public suspicion.
In those days, life was very simple, and we didn't have any farms or schools or restaurants or big administration to manage. These days we have all those things.
Govindas has come a long way since then. He has taught and demonstrated his cooking in schools, colleges and restaurants from London to Warsaw, Delhi to Beijing.
Looking back, and it's taken me a few years to sort of figure it out, but a lot of the passion and frustration that I experienced in youth, which most people would say is just part of growing up, I think it had a lot to do with what I was eating. And looking around at the boys and girls that have grown up as devotees in this movement, I've noticed that they haven't gone through the intense traumas and frustrations, a lot of them, that I went through. And I think it has a lot to do with the diet.
Govindas' rigorous lifestyle can mean a 20-hour working day. He's currently rushing to finish a biography of Srila Prabhupada, the movement's founder.
Well, that's it for this edition of Cooking with Krishna. I do hope you've enjoyed preparing these dishes as much as I've enjoyed sharing them with you. Happy and healthy eating.
The Krishna Consciousness movement vigorously improves the practice of preparing food, offering it to the deity, and distributing it to the general population. This activity should be extended universally.
Presently, we're serving about 1 minute or 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, there's a Hare Krishna someone in the world. Providing oxygen to every person.
We have to fly. There's no inside to show me satisfied. Here's to fly. Here's to fly. Come fly side and we will take all around the world, we want to fly. Rising sunshine, we have to fly.
So we travel on the shower, and at one point, the bullets were flying out of our head, about 20 feet above our head. And we just had to pray that we wouldn't be shot.
I know where you've been. We must be there to smile. We must be there to this smile. We have to fly. We have to fly. There's hope inside you shall be satisfied. Heroes to fly. Heroes to fly. Come to our side.
Once again, we spent about 500,000 flavors preparing to all that.
We want to don't have to break. The sailors survive.
Beautiful.
I appreciate it very much.
No one said, everyone should be praying. No one should go hungry with me 10 miles. Brothers and sisters, God is calm. Krishna.
My name is Darko Vlacina, and I've been running the program here for about 10 years. It's been going on for 25 years.
Living lives, dancing through the sunshine. We have to fly. We have to fly. There's hope inside. Here's to fly. Here's to fly.
Last night, Saturday night, my people killed here by trying to distribute Prashad display. Everybody love us.
Here's to fly. Come to our side. We have to fly. We have to fly. There's hope inside. Here's to fly. Here's to fly.
Hello, from Vedic Texts
coming to listening from Durban, we're here to investigate some new concepts. We've all heard about nuclear free zones and smoke free zones. But how about a hunger free zone?
There's much, much more to food for life than filling your belly. The people need to know that somebody cares for them and loves them. And that caring and loving is given in such a simple, person-to-person way. And there's no better way to show that caring and love than to help them out with some food when they're having trouble.
That is the spirit of Masaka, of building one another together. It is also the spirit of today's festival, organized by Hare Krishna Food for Life.
Prabhupada always emphasized the importance of prasadam distribution, so we took that to heart. There wasn't anybody at the time making a street product. So we thought this would be a nice way to distribute prasadam.
Offering to the deities in the temple.
For people to associate with the name Govindas, something that's fresh, pure, very first class.
I read the Prabhupada said you could change the world with prasadam. So it inspired me in my service. I've been living on my own and I opened a restaurant in November of last year.
Local patrons of an organic restaurant substitute tofu turkey for the real thing, and that's there is like a replace all these natural things that don't harm your body, your mind and intelligence and so forth.
I could experience people expanding their consciousness, just changing the way they were, simply by eating prasadam.
Nos sentimos como si hubiéramos and people appreciate their service in a sense. So they create like a temple by making offerings to the spiritual master. We feel unified with all the devotees here and everywhere. So open restaurants in any part of any city and make nice buildings. Let everybody set.
The renunciation of work and working devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, working devotion service is better than renunciation of work.
You're listening to 1480 KHQ in Spanish, Utah. This is your headquarters for culture and consciousness. Let me remind you one and all that tomorrow the Festival of India plans to present through 5,000 participants, and most of those will be back tomorrow with their friends. Scout leaders are sending fruits over their parents, are bringing kids, teachers are referring to students. And I think the reason for this is that we don't threaten our culture
since time immemorial, has not attempted to gain converts by criticizing or putting down another religion. We basically respect and accept all religions, but feel we have something to add. This is the 17th year, and we know Srila Prabhupada is very clear when he sees people having their lives transformed. Many people come, and as a result of going to a festival like this, they become vegetarian. If they're a Christian, Hindu, or Mormon, they become better at wherever they are by adopting some of the practices of Krishna consciousness into their life. We're very happy to see people's lives transformed.
Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed with the weapon of knowledge.
The Prabhupada's idea from the very beginning that Krishna consciousness movement belonged among the leadership of this world, that it had to be most respectable.
We can become a member of this graduate theological union. Then they can get a degree recognized by the state of California, so they can teach in universities all over the whole country. Yes.
The Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley is perhaps the most important graduate religious studies school in the Western United States. Certainly it has the largest theological library in the Western United States. We have many levels and kinds of joint programs with the University of California, Berkeley, which is one of the top universities in America, if not the world. Prabhupada always used to say that there are many great universities all over the world. There's no department, there's no program to understand the soul.
The faculty of the IBS will be bringing to the teach you as adjunct faculty in the coming year will include those who will be teaching introductory course in Sanskrit, a course in the Bhagavad Gita.
There will be a department to understand the soul. There will be a department to understand Krishna.
Thus, established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, a man whose mind has been enlightened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association.
And 1984, I was given an assignment by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust to work with Sadhguru Richard Thompson on a magazine that would present the basic Vedic perspective on different issues in modern science to a popular audience. For 8 years, I did considerable research into the entire history of archaeology. The book Forbidden Archaeology was my first venture into very heavy scientific research and writing.
In their book, Forbidden Archaeology, Michael Cremo and Dr. Richard Thompson uncovered numerous cases which suggest that modern man could be millions of years older than history tells us.
According to most standard accounts, human beings like ourselves have only been around 100,000 years or so. But the evidence that we catalog in Forbidden Archaeology takes human history back tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of years. From the very beginning, we wanted the work that we did in Forbidden Archaeology to reach not only the scientific world, but also the general public. Therefore, we made an abridged edition of the book called The Hidden History of the Human Race.
The hidden history of the human race is something that is in direct opposition, I guess, to the Darwinian theory of evolution.
There was a lot of planning that went into that to make it happen, but that was all inspired by the desire of Srila Prabhupada, who wanted that to happen. And that is very satisfying to me.
A person who is constantly engaged in reading literature, enunciating the cultivation of Vaishnava devotional service, is always glorious in human society, and certainly Lord Krishna becomes pleased with him.
I was quite skeptical about my ability of doing devotional service because I was the first Chinese devotee. I was by myself, and seemingly nobody was supporting what I was doing. It was a cultural shock. Somehow story. Baba came back from that actually translate his books into Chinese criteria and at the same time introduce Bhakti Yoga into the Chinese speaking people. From that time onwards, we expanded our temple. We have regular deity worship programs for Chinese communities. We have lectures, we teach yoga, and we also have a restaurant.
Godhead is light, nescience is darkness. Where there is Godhead, there is no nescience.
I got involved in 1968 when I first joined at second editing. My first engagement was stapling booklets, collating back to Godhead. And I gradually moved up to typing. And somehow or other, after some time, they made me editor. Here's a magazine dealing with the quintessence of spiritual life. Back to God. When people come in touch with back to Godhead, when they come in touch with Krishna, they come in touch with the devotees of Krishna, they come in touch with the literature of Krishna consciousness, the culture of Krishna consciousness, the arts of Krishna consciousness, Krishna and everything connected with Krishna. People come in touch with through back to Godhead. It's meant for the service of the readers, not material service. It's service to the self, within God, the service to the eternal person himself.
I wish that all of our Krishna conscious literatures may be available to men of all languages throughout the world. So whatever assistance you can give in this connection is always appreciated.
Our main goal is to see all of Srila Prabhupada's books translated and printed as quickly as possible for all the languages of Northern Europe, Central Europe, and the former Soviet Union. Right now we can do about 70 to 100 titles a year, and this, our translation work, resulted in printing of approximately 27 million books in the past 3 years. Everybody who gets in contact with Srila Prabhupada's books benefits so much. I benefited, everybody who translates you benefited, everybody who takes a book and reads benefits. That gives us a lot of inspiration to go on in this lifelong marathon of translating and producing his literature.
You must take your mind off Krishna. Then your everything is like you done. So you won't fall into Maya. When the cloud is feeling nectar, you will let go every word. But from God, what's so tasty? There was not the effort. Yeah, you go back. When you learn you're not supposed to work, then you find some secret mind. But when science tries to lure you, it will be so hard to find. Down the road, a little farther, now you find you're really thirsty. So you pray a little harder, hoping you will get some mercy. Yeah, you go back out, back out.
just go and try to ask everybody if you don't like a material partnership with people. But sometimes if you stop even old people, you got amazed how they give big donation and they get books.
I feel very grateful to being allowed to take part in this wonderful mission. Because I understand that it is not by my qualities or by my way of speaking or smiling to that person that this man now took these books. But I can see that something from within told him that this is good for you and you should actually accept it and you should take it.
Being a multi-creator is a great challenge because you don't really know what is going to happen the next day. Although you know that every day you're going to have the same experience, it seems to be really new.
I used to wonder why I was very sad and my two sons were very happy. And so I started reading Prabhupada's books, and my two sons began preaching to me and convinced me to become a devotee of Krishna. So I'm very glad to have two sons who are devotees of Krishna.
Stava facendo una guida quando una signorina ruisse.
I was parked in the gas station in Peru and was putting gas in my car when a lady came up to me dressed like an Indian. She was very happy and enthusiastic. She said, "This is a book by my spiritual master. Please read this book." I brought the book home and read it. Immediately after reading the book, I told Lolita, "This is knowledge. This is the knowledge we were looking for." I was very young then, only 4 years old, but my parents got convinced by that book. It changed their hearts, and that moved me. The next day, we were looking for more books. We went to the same gas station. The same lady was there distributing books. We ran up to her and asked her, "Do you have any other books? What other books do you have?"
Сейчас мы пришли к генеральному директору. When we approached the financial director again, he refused to meet us. We went back to the general director to talk to him about the situation. All of a sudden, this very peaceful, tranquil person stood up from his chair in a very determined way and said, "Let's go." This leader was exceptionally special. He told us that he is convinced that the production of the enterprise is directly connected with people reading these books, and that's why he was so persistent in helping us. Now I have grandsons and granddaughters. I will give them all these books as gifts. Let them read them. Thanks a lot to these young people who come here and so kindly give us this knowledge. There is so little kindness in this world. We are planting this kindness in people's hearts.
After being in contact with knowledge like this, I become more soft-hearted.
I am planning to read these books. Then we will see. Maybe they will convince me to believe in God. These books have eternal values, which are important for everyone to know, whether they are Hare Krishnas, Christians, Muslims, or any other type of transcendentalists.
What you could not gain your mind all my life, and while you get it down, still feel you're out of danger. Yeah, you go back out underground. For what you're gathering, you go back out underground.
My ambition is to spread these books far and wide all over the world so that everyone shall read at least one of our books. That will change his life.
Bhakti Mark Swami began his cross-Canada tour last April in Vancouver. He averages about 50 kilometers a day. His message is simple. Canadians should think more about the spiritual side of life.
I'd like to see Canada become a little more stable, cohesive.
On the roads of Canada, Bhakti Mark says people have given him food and offered him rides. Bhakti Mark hopes to reach St. John's, Newfoundland before Christmas. And although his trek ends there, he says his spiritual journey will continue.
When you're on foot, you're going long distances, you're forcing people to talk to you. And that's what I think I've gained from this walk, is the opportunity to make a lot of friends and allow people to come and talk to closer to Krishna.
Well, yeah, the continuation of Mahaprabhu's walk 500 years ago. At that time he walked within India, but now he's going beyond the boundaries. And then Prabhupada found out how we were doing nicely in the villages, especially how we were depending on Krishna, and they were inviting people, chanting and speaking to them, the tortoise, make them sit down and feed prasad. Prabhupada was so pleased.
The chief said yes, and off went the temple with happy Hare Krishna disciples and the bullocks sandwiched between a lorry and the Pantechnicon. Someone asked why they couldn't walk on water. Maybe that would have been asking for too much.
This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity. It enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Sankirtan is the most important part of the ritual here in Manipur. In general, any family in Manipur, they have to perform the Sankirtan for any function, for any of their lively duties. Came during the king's time, Chandra Maharaj. Radha Krishna Ratrila is the most important for the Vaishnavas. They think this is the prime instructions they should follow. The result of what is seen today is a lively, beauty, inspiration, and ardence of his language, easy, Bhagavad song.
10% of the population in Malaysia following the Hindu religion. The chanting of the holy name was gradually known by the people here until the coming of the devotees. So we study many years, especially here in Bali and also in other islands, the devotee are preaching.
Because the dancing goes back many thousands of years. And it's a very nice type of dance because it is a dramatical dance. It's a dance which displays the pastimes of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. And therefore one becomes Krishna conscious by watching these beautiful dances.
Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom.
Prabhupada once said that the paintings in our books are like windows to the spiritual world. So I feel that by seeing the Harinam party, they're looking through that window and they're actually seeing the spiritual world in action. I've tried to develop that aspect when I'm preaching in the world, particularly in Poland and Russia. Wherever I go, I try to emphasize that aspect of chanting and dancing and developing it. We're trying to encourage people to join us, not just to show up there, we're trying to bring people into the spiritual world. So invite them to dance with us. It is a way that people can actually see the dynamic of this combination of the spiritual world.
Lord, Goran is calling. Please chant the holy names. In every town and village, there's no time for all your games. It's time to wake up, find out who you are. Wake up, it's time to wake up. You've been dreaming of a star. Lord, is calling. He's coming down to me. I used to tell you be happy, quiet, and you see me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One would be a dream. And of course, we believe in that dream because we would also like to see everyone under one banner, under one guy's under banner of God, Krishna. So we want to get out there and propagate that understanding.
There's no time for playing games. You know it's time to wake up, find out who you are. Waking up, it's time to wake up. You've been dreaming of a star. Watch around this morning. Please come and dance with me. And if you chance, be happy, shine, and free. Oh! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, and following this practice of Krishna consciousness, people all over the world can live harmoniously and in happiness. Watch around this glory, please come and dance with me. And share, be happy, shine, and sweet. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, people are getting this nectar, and it's immediate. It's not a slow process.
Movement is to have God consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from the animals, that the animals cannot understand what is God.
And Hare Krishna means what?
Hare Krishna means addressing the energy of God. Hare means the energy of God, and Krishna means God.
Do you feel that in getting truths from various places like the Bible, the Quran, and so forth, don't you run into conflicts at all or contradictions in those particular philosophies?
I don't find any conflict because the ultimate goal is God. So we have to understand God and try to love Him.
If everyone in the United States believed in Krishna to the extent that you do, what would happen to this country? How would it be transformed?
Very, very happy and
People want to go. The value of this movement, in science, philosophy, we have got enough ingredient to survive. Otherwise, it is simple, very simple. Simple chant the mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Govinda, so this is ocean of devotion. Okay, our next part of the program is drama. Tim is ready? Okay.